Well, I'm continuing with my day 2 in my series, though actually we're shooting all of this on the same day, but Be on a Fly on My Shoulder and Watch Me Work in the Garden. So I'm now tackling, I just did my dining room table and I cleaned it all up, and go back to YouTube and watch that episode if you haven't. My next thing is I am tackling this area underneath the kitchen window box. That is my wonderful palladium window that, and here's a little fun fact. This was completely shattered in the hailstorm of, what year was that, Stuart? 2011? I can't remember, but we had a massive hailstorm that literally took out almost every roof in Oklahoma City, and it also not only took out my roof, but it also shattered my kitchen window. And that was planked up for a while, but it's back and it's beautiful right now. So I want to show you a couple of tips in here. This is largely a very shady area. So number one, here are a couple of tips for you for plants that grow in the shade. And later on LVTV, I'm going to do a whole series on great shade plants. But here are two, or actually three. This is a Japanese spreading yew. This is all one plant, you guys. It's absolutely massive. It started out in my front yard and I transplanted it here when I installed the gravel deck. It's great for a shady area. When I prune on it, to try to kind of minimize and control its size, I typically do that in the wintertime so I can take the greenery. Stuart, give them an up-close look at this beautiful greenery, these beautiful dark green fronds. And I can make wreaths out of them. I can use them on my mantle or whatever. So any kind of really extensive pruning, I try to wait, and I do that in the wintertime so I can use the cuttings. Now, spreading yew is poisonous, but I have never had any problem with any pet ever gnawing on a Japanese spreading yew. It will put out a few red berries, but not a lot. Mostly it's really soft needled foliage that makes it so beautiful, and it's a wonderful contrast to this Akuba japonica, which also puts out some berries. This has been here for quite a while. Next spring, I'm going to drastically prune this back because it's just gotten too overgrown, but it's a beautiful contrast. Shiny, large-leafed form against this yew. And this is also called a gold dust plant. And like everything in my garden, I use it a lot for cut flower arrangements. It's beautiful used with any kind of flowers that are yellow because there's a wonderful color echo. I just love it, and it's underneath the canopy of all of these red buds and that blue atlas cedar there. Now I've got some other things in here. This area, not too long ago, I had to do some extensive sewer line work and kitchen plumbing, in other words, plumbing work. And this whole area had to be excavated, dug out, and I put a few things in here. I'm just trying to kind of still see how I want the rest of this to look. But there are some camellias in here. I planted another gold dust plant or Akuba japonica in here, and I've got a wonderful Terra oak leaf hydrangea. So this area, oh, and over here, another great yew. This is a Utopia. This is from the Southern Living Plant Collection. And what I love about this is it is a little bit more low growing. The needles are a little bit longer, but this does brilliantly in the shade. So if you need a really great plant, evergreen, for the shade, it's wonderful. Now, this is the fun part. Stuart doesn't even know this fun part. Periodically, I cheat. So if I am having a garden tour, or tomorrow, where I mentioned earlier, we're having some guests over tomorrow night for cocktails and appetizers in the evening, and I want everything to look its garden tour best, I will do some cheats. If I've got some empty places that need to be filled and I am, like in this area, I'm waiting for some of the things in here to put on some maturity, then I will cheat. And my favorite cheat is to make fake shrubs. So this shrub right here, this Nandina domestica, is really planted in here. And pretty soon I'm going to have to control its size a little bit. But it's really planted in here. This one is fake. I did some pruning on my Nandina in another part of the garden. And when I need to fill in a space and see how I need to hide all of these wires and things that go to my cable, then I sometimes just make a fake plant and I just tuck it into the damp soil. Now you may ask, well, that's a pretty short-term solution, and it is a short-term solution, but you know what? It's a longer solution than you would think. I've had some of these in here for up to 2 weeks. If the weather is cool and kind of rainy, and they look just fine. I even used some of the trimmings that had berries on them. This is also a fake Nandina here. This is a fake Nandina here. I can reposition that one a little bit. But it's a great temporary solution. Now, in addition, sometimes when I have just stuck those in the ground like that, you almost cannot kill a Nandina. And on occasion, I have just stuck them into the ground like that, and they have taken up root and actually grown. So if you want to do something to cheat maturity in your garden, then this is a great trick. And like I say, it works great for garden tours and things like that. But also, if you need a last-minute large potted plant or a last-minute potted container, then all you'd have to do is just stick one of these clippings in it. Like for fall, wouldn't that be great? You just have a large pot with soil in it. You stick that branch in there, you surround it with pumpkins and gourds and things that would be absolutely beautiful and didn't cost you a dime. So that's just a little fun cheat. This is also where I have my hose, and I keep back in here. It's just a little practical thing. I keep a little stepping stool back inside, tucked in the foliage, because it's what I use to clean my kitchen window, and I'm not quite tall enough if I need to prune on any of those plants in the window box. Now, I haven't done it yet, but pretty soon when I find just the right kind of mums, I'll probably just tuck in some pots of mums inside the window box to give it some color. But for right now, I think it's just fine. So there are some great plants for shade, shrubs for shade, and also a quite handy garden cheat next time you're desperate.